Twitch, of course, is late game hyper carry. He scales really well, but of course Jinx is also late game hyper carry. So I don't think this is a great laning matchup for Twitch. Twitch Fiddles, I mean, sure it can work, but honestly, I feel like Twitch needs a support that gives him a little bit more protection. Fiddles doesn't really protect him very much. Fiddlesticks is more of an aggressive, damaging support, which is why I don't think this lane has great synergy. I mean, sure, can it work? Of course. Obviously, this lane can work. But I do think that Twitch needs a little bit more of a defensive support to get through his very weak early laning phase. In any case, we'll just watch and see how the matchup plays out. Major props, though, to the Pumpkinhead Fiddlestick skin. I've always said I think this is one of the best skins in the game. It's nice that people have a chance to buy it. Little disappointed that, as I've said before last week, Riot promised people these skins would never go on sale again, and then they did go on sale, so that's a little bit scumbag move there. And not a big fan of that, but it is nice that people get a chance to use that skin. I do think it's a really, really strong one. And then let's go ahead and take a look at it. Where is Fiddlesticks? I mean, all it is the Fiddlesticks character model with a pumpkin stuck on his head. But, I mean, that makes for a great skin. I mean, sometimes simple is awesome. That's one reason why I don't really like the fact that Riot has gone over to, we're only going to put out a very small number of skins, and we're going to make them all very expensive and have lots of particle reworks. I like the ones where they just did something really simple and fun, and they just made a ton of skins. So I like their skin designs more from like 2 or 3 years ago. The fact that there is only one skin in this year's Halloween event is really embarrassing and kind of a joke. The fact that they had to bring back skins from previous years just because they only had one new skin, the Zyra one, I mean, that's pretty embarrassing. Like, there's no new wards. They just reused all the wards from last year. There's no visual rework to Summoner's Rift. Like, they did a complete Halloween reskinning of the map in past years. It's just really lazy. I'm sorry, but it is. This is a pretty terrible Halloween event this year. This is by far the worst one they've done out of the 4 years they've done it. Not even close. It's pretty embarrassing how bad. And they don't even have a champion coming out either. Like, Jinx came out 2 weeks ago. There's not even a new champion for this event. So anyway, it's just sad. Like, it's really embarrassing. Alrighty, well, I'm going to focus mostly on this matchup in mid because I think we want to see the Heimerdinger matchup, and it's not like Syndra gets played that often either. Syndra's a burst caster. I only talked about Heimer before. Syndra's a burst caster. She's someone who is going to try to 100 to 0 you, and she's actually quite good at it. The disadvantage for her is she has a very high skill cap, and she's very, very heavily reliant on landing skill shots, which is one reason why you don't see her that often. But she has been used in competitive play a little bit. And I actually think she's pretty good overall. It's just people don't play her. If you wanted to master champ for solo queue, you could do a lot worse than Syndra because people aren't used to playing against Syndra, and that gives you a pretty good advantage. Anyway, though, let's look at Heimer. Let's look at his stuff. All right, so here's his passive. Basically the same as before. He gets passive health regen, gives himself nearby allied champions, and his turrets bonus health regen. Starts at 10 health per 5 and then goes up over time with levels that scale through the game. So not too shabby there. Alrighty, let's look at his Q. Penguin Preacher's gone ahead and chosen to scale his Q first. Places a turret at target location. Turret attacks prioritize Heimerdinger's targets. That's kind of nice. So it prioritizes whoever Heimer's auto-attacking. And prioritizes enemies attacking Heimer. Health increases with his champion level. They shut down if he moves out of the area. That's a big change. Before you could put down towers wherever and they'd stay forever and until they died or whatever, or until you put more down. So now they can only be near Heimerdinger. He generates a new kit every 23 seconds. He can hold 1 kit at once. Can hold up to 3 at max rank of his skill, but starts out at only 1. So you can see the damage down there. Health deals magic damage. And then something that's new, you can put down a new beam attack periodically. Magic damage in a line every 11 seconds. Yes, I'm aware there's a fight going on in top lane, and there's a fight going on in bottom lane. I'm trying to focus more on Heimer. It's a 1-for-1 in bottom lane right now, and it looks like it's going to be a 2-for-1. Let's see if Jinx is going to get this. Is that W off cooldown? No. Just a 1-for-1. Anyway, in comes a gank in mid, and Jacob's going to have to blow a slash there on Syndra, but is going to allow him to get out of there. It's actually a nice gank by Sen and the Bro, the Hecarim player on that side. So anyway, that's the turret. Let's see. It looks like Penguin is looking to max his W first, and that makes perfect sense. This is generally considered to be Heimer's strongest skill right now, unless you're going for a big-time push strat. So micro rockets, again, this is similar to what he had before. Heimer had micro rockets before, but it's different in terms of how it functions. Unleashes a barrage of 5 rockets that converge towards your cursor and fan out behind it. Wow, that's a nice use of the grenade stun right there by Penguin Preacher. Landed his stun right there. The big difference is, whereas before the rockets were auto-targeted, you just hit W and they hit whatever was closest. Now you target them with the cursor, and you can, depending on where you put your cursor, the rocket spread can be either very tight or it can be very loose, depending on where you put that. You can see that deals, let's see, magic damage, 18 plus 5. Depends on how many rockets hit them, obviously. And then minions take 60% of base damage. So this is his high, my understanding is this is his highest damaging skill. This is his best wave clear skill. And let's keep an eye on it for when Penguin actually chooses to use this one. Note that look at Jacob. He picked up the tower and threw it into the brush. That's pretty funny. So the Syndra against Heimerdinger match has a great possibility for trolling. Oh, and look at this. The tower went inactive because Heimer was not close enough to it. So it's not dead. Let's see. Does this grant vision? Okay, yes. The towers do grant vision. All right. And now that he's close enough. Anyway, there's a stun from the grenade. Nicely done. And there's the rocket. Yeah, that grenade plus rocket combo actually dealing a lot of damage. If you can hit it. Both of them are skill shots. So Heimer has increased his skill cap significantly in this rework. Let's look at the grenade here just briefly. This is probably Heimer's 1-point skill. Probably, although not certain. You might choose to match this second. Hurls a grenade that deals magic damage and slows. If enemy is hit in the center of the blast, they also get stunned for a second and a half. There is the slow. Did not get the stun. But, oh, Penguin flashing in. Is he going to get this with his ignite? Yes, he is. Picks it up, and that's a nice little kill right there for Heimerdinger. So raise your dongers, and there we go. A nice pickup there in middle lane. And then let's go ahead and highlight the ultimate right here. He actually just used this all. Oh, wow. That's what the rockets look like? Holy cow. I'm going to go back and watch that again. I want to see what this looks like. That's what the rockets look like. Wow. Okay. So let's see. There's a visual effect when he uses his ultimate. Let's just watch that again. Come on. I didn't go back in time that far. Okay, so he glows yellow, and then look at all those rockets. Wow. Okay. Now I can see why people like this skill so much. What did they do to Heimer? Yeah, well, looked pretty good right there. So use the ultimate plus rocket for wave clear right there. Shove that into the tower, go back and buy, and we'll see what Penguin chooses to buy. I'll go ahead and highlight what the ultimate does. So upgrade, still keeps the same name, makes next basic ability free and gives it bonus effects. That's nice. So there's no mana cost associated with this. You can place a tower, a turret that deals like super damage, deals magic damage, with its beam has splash damage. So basically, and also doesn't count towards the turret limit. So you basically can place a super turret. Hextech Rocket Swarm fires 4 waves of rockets that deal multiple damage, blah, blah, blah. Champions and monsters hit by multiple rockets take reduced damage up to a max of 500. That's a lot of damage, though. 500 plus 88 for a level 1 ultimate. That's actually quite a bit. And then the lightning grenade throws a bouncing grenade, discharges 3 times, deals magic damage. Both the stun and the slow area are larger, and the slow's improved to 80%. So pretty good. Anyway, we do have a gank coming in once again. Let's see. So let's see if this Hecarim gank's going to work. There is the grenade. Oh, gets the stun again. Out comes the rockets. Is this going to be enough? Yes, picks it up. But Jacob picks up a kill on Syndra and exchanges 1 for 1. So nicely done there. Did we have the Syndra ult coming out? Yes, we did. Used Unleash Power, got a kill, and was tanking that tower a little bit as well. So there you go. A nice little 1 for 1 trade. Well played by Syndra there in mid lane. But Heimer is still in mid, still farming. And this is where the power of the Heimer push comes in. Right now, Penguin's just using one of these towers as a ward. So basically just using this as a free ward over here in this lane. There is a fight going on in bot. Let's take a quick look at that. Fiddlestick's trying to drain his way through. Wow, he's tanking for a long time on that drain. But not going to be enough. Jinx gets a reset. Nice use of barrier by that guy Gia's Twitch. So that is going to be, it looks like a 1 for 1 with both supports dying in bottom lane. And that bottom lane is actually fairly close right now overall. How about top lane? Top lane's pretty even as well, and I don't think Teemo's really abusing his range enough. He should just be poking Darius constantly. Like, Darius, anytime he goes for a minion, should get shot with that poison shot. And probably, what's his Q? And probably a blinding dart as well. Also, I'm not sure about the skilling order. 2-2-2. That's a very weird way of skilling. Any champion, you usually want to max something first. I'd probably be maxing the poison shot or the blinding dart, but I don't know. You can go either E or Q first on Teemo. But anyway, so this mid lane matchup, as we've seen before, Penguin has gone for double Doran's rings into a Chalice of Harmony. It looks like he's going to build that into an Unholy Grail. Makes a lot of sense. There's that new laser effect coming out on the turrets, and you can see when their laser is charged again by the little cursor indicator right here. So when it's full, it'll fire a laser. There it is, and deals more wave clear damage. But as we saw before, Penguin is maxing out the micro rockets. He's going to getting them first, and I mean, it's kind of hard to see how much damage they do because it depends on if they all hit. But right now, max 270 plus 61. Wow, the AP ratio is really good on this too. That AP ratio is like it's around 0.8 or 0.9 roughly. It's somewhere in that vicinity because he's got 61 and he's getting plus 56. Yeah, so that's quite good. I think it's somewhere between 0.8 and 0.9. It could be 0.85. Not entirely sure. We need to have more AP. Anyway, there's another fight going on down in bottom lane. It looks like we've got a Hecarim gank. That guy is going to flash over the traps. Let's see, can he get away? Needs that slow. Gonna miss that. Does the ultimate up on Jinx. Does the ultimate up. Beautiful English right there. That was actually not up. Was already used. Overall, this matchup, Heimerdinger seems to be ahead right now. He's ahead, basically a Doran's blade, or the Doran's ring, excuse me. Right now, it looks to be just pushing the lane forward, and that is, what Heimer's always been good at. He's always been sort of the master of pushing, although Penguin seems playing a little bit defensively. Right now, he doesn't want to get bursted down. One thing about these towers, as I understand it, is the towers are quite frail now. They die pretty quickly when they take damage, but their damage output is a little bit higher, and you can get 3 of them down on the map now, which is quite nice. And let's see, right now, Jacob just going to farm in another lane. Penguin continuing to push this, and using those rockets for good wave clear. Let's see, is he going to go back? How much gold is he sitting on? 1,500, perhaps? We'll see. And there's not too much going on mid right now. Is it? Okay, so 0.8 ratio. Alright, thank you, Fallen. It looks like it is a 0.8 ratio. The range on those rockets is pretty good, too. Pretty good range. It looks like people are a little confused on the new graphics. That might be the new tower graphics. It's probably the biggest thing introduced. Let's see, we'll take a quick look at Jacob. He is maxing Q first. I believe that's what most people do on Syndra. Q is the skill that kind of sets everything else up. And I believe it drops the cooldown, although I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that, but I think that is useful, obviously, for setting everything else up. So it's pretty much just a farm-off right here between Heimer and between Syndra right now. Jacob's going and he's clearing all of these side camps, grabbing them for extra income whenever he can. That's one thing that Penguin might have been able to do. Oh, who actually got that Wraith camp? I'm not 100% sure. Well, in any case, we'll go ahead and speed this up and try to get it back to regular speed because we're a little bit delayed from when I went back earlier. Not a whole lot going on in mid. Unfortunately, as I speed this up, it caused all the names to drop away. Oh, right now we've got a gank in mid, and they did manage to pick that up. Alright, let's get this back to normal speed, and then we'll go back and take a look at that since I basically missed it. Alright, so here we go. There is the Hecarim ult in, and out comes the rocket barrage. Okay, that was another case of the rocket barrage coming out. Senin went in with Hecarim ult, got the fear effect, and then the rockets on a upgraded W, I guess I'll say. Upgraded W caused the burst that caused that to jump out like that. Alright, so once again, unfortunately hitting the plus key to speed this up causes the names to disappear, and yes, that's stupid. Well, alright, there we go. Another plus, and then slow down, we'll get it. So alright, we're almost back to live action, or live action 3 minutes delayed, as it might be more accurate to say. And Heimer continues to farm it. Alright, so there we are, we're back to live right now. You can see it down here. And, yeah, so Heimer seems to be winning this match, admittedly with a lot of help from Headless Hecarim, who is currently farming invisible double golems up at the top of the map. Let's take a quick peek at other lanes. Darius actually winning this top lane matchup here. Darius is 800 gold ahead, and again, that really should not happen. I believe that Darius does win this matchup in sort of a straight-up 1v1 scenario, so perhaps some jungle assistance coming in from the Hecarim on that side. Red team's Hecarim jungler is pretty far ahead right now. Senin is pretty significantly ahead of Giga Sion. If you check out their gold, 4,200 against 2,800. So yeah, he's 1,400 gold ahead. That's a big advantage. And actually setting up another gank right here. There's a nice knockback. Let's keep an eye on this. Do they have enough damage, though, to get Darius? I don't know if they do. That burn effect is coming in. Oh, Timo, one more auto. Oh, he autoed the tower instead of Darius. Oh, that's a shame. Really a bit of a waste right there. but they will be able to get a lot of damage on this tower. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, we'll just take a quick peek there. It's fairly even. I think Twitch is ahead because... No, it's dead even. I was going to say because Twitch does have 2 kills and 2 assists, but it is dead even on the gold total right there. So not too much difference in that particular lane. Meanwhile, in mid, we have double Unholy Grails coming out. Penguin has finished his. He also has Slurk Shoes and double Dorans. Jacob has also gone back and bought his Unholy Grail. Just has the 1 Dorans, doesn't have Slurk Shoes. So he's about 1,000 gold behind. Yes, 1,000 gold behind. Figured as much just based on the items. And why? So why the Unholy Grail? Well, the ability power and magic resist are obviously useful, but the cooldown reduction is the big thing here. CDR, cooldown reduction, very, very useful on Heimer. That's what people have been saying, that this is what he needs, basically, because his cooldowns are all quite long. Let's check these out, shall we? Okay, well, the turrets, how long does it take to get a new turret? 18 seconds for a new turret, that's pretty long. The micro rockets on an 8-second cooldown, and that's with sizable CDR, 24%. So that's a fairly long cooldown. Now it's 6.6 with maxed cooldown reduction. There's the 40% max cooldown reduction. So he gets it on a 6.5-second cooldown, but without that max CDR, it would be around what, about 10 to 11 seconds. That's pretty long. And the grenade, all similar story. So yeah, he does need the cooldown reduction. And wow, his ult's on a very short cooldown. This might be too short. Although, then again, that is with max CDR, so keep that in mind. But for an ult that deals as much damage as those rockets do, and he's got a lot of utility on the lightning grenade as well. For an ult that's that useful, that might be too low of a cooldown. Riot might need to tinker with that and increase that. Oh, 1 more auto attack. Yeah, in any case, the towers, as you saw right there, the towers are quite frail, and they do die rather quickly when someone actually damages them. But the damage output that they do is pretty good. Okay, well, these towers don't output much damage at all because Penguin is maxing his W and his E first just to get as much poke as possible, and that actually makes a lot of sense. The new arc on the concussion grenade looks really cool, by the way. The old concussion grenade had a kind of a silly animation when it went out. Now it looks a little bit more three-dimensional. Unfortunately, this game not going to be too serious unless Giga Sion reconnects. He is currently disconnected. Hopefully he is just leaving and coming back to try and fix lag or something like that. But as it is, it's currently a 5v4, and the red team's already ahead, so that's only going to make things worse. Senin's invading. He was pinged. He walked over a ward, so yeah, no jungler on the other side. The red team probably doesn't even know that there is no jungler on blue team yet because when the jungler disconnects, it's kind of hard to see that, generally speaking. They're setting up a dive. Let's see if this is going to work. I can tell that that's what they want to go for. So that is a flash backwards from Jacob, and Senin should just walk back out. Be happy with taking the flash. Oh, but never mind. He actually got the stun. Now both ults coming out. The Ignite is going to pick that up. Wow, that burst from Heimerdinger coming out. Another stun hits. Very, very nicely done right there. And now still Eternity is in some trouble. He, though, is going to get that dunk. Pulls off 1 kill, gets 1 back, so it turns into a 1-for-1 trade right there. And yeah, I believe he just picked up red buff. Yes, he did. Picked up red buff in the process, but still, Penguin just going in. Lands that concussion grenade stun, then just flashes in and uses an upgraded W, and that was a lot of damage. I mean, a lot of damage right there. Look at that, 690 plus 245. He does not have that much in the way of ability power just yet. Nor is he level 16 yet either, and that's kind of nice, using the tower to farm some rates there. Kind of a nice little pickup. So yeah, Heimer, seems like he has a surprisingly high burst, in all honesty, for someone who really has not built much in the way of ability power. His burst is pretty good. His towers actually don't seem to be that great, but then again, this may be due to the fact that Penguin's not maxing them. I don't know. Anyway, right there comes out another rocket barrage, another grenade comes out, did not get the stun that time, saw a flash backwards. Nex is actually very, very low right here. Meanwhile, Teemo is going to pop his ghost, but I don't think that that's going to lead to anything. It's very unfortunate right now. Blue team is, as we saw, still playing a 4v5, so until he comes back, there's not a whole lot that their team can do. You know, they're still in this game, largely because they're winning top so hard. I'm also a little curious why we've got this Nashor's Tooth as the first item on Teemo. That's a bit of an odd choice, particularly for time. I mean, I guess this is supposed to be an AP Teemo, but AP Teemos typically go like double Dorans, and then they go into what's the one they usually go? They usually go into Hunting Guys from it. So it's a bit of an odd item choice. Oh, nice pickup by Jacob Syndra right there, grabbing that big Wraith away from the jungler. making sure he gets the income from it. So, I mean, we're just basically waiting for Giga Sion to come back, and hopefully he will. If not, red team will just snowball this game, and there's really nothing blue team can do about it. Snowball off of mid lane and off of bottom lane. Anyway, Heimer's just farming right now, so we'll keep an eye on this actual fight right there. Here comes the ultimate in from Spectral Savage's Fiddlesticks. He's going to get drained. Oh, nice grab in. Going to get dunked by Darius. Still Eternity playing a nice game. It is a 2v2 down here in bottom lane, and that guy G is going to get hit by the W, but that no longer reveals stealth. Out comes the Blade of the Ruined Kingslow. Hecarim ult coming out. That's going to be one kill, but Syndra's here. This should be a Syndra double kill. Oh, or maybe not, actually. Is Twitch going to get out? Yes, he is. Does actually manage to escape, and Heimer is now here for the cleanup. Picks up a kill at the back end of that. So what is that, a 2 for 2 in the end? Another concussion grenade coming out. And I don't know if we're going to see anything further on that, but yeah, once again, that upgraded W just comes out and wow, just deals a lot of damage. And I'm kind of disappointed that we don't have a, we lost our jungler here, so we don't have a better match. But I mean, it's been interesting to watch. Let's see. Oh, Penguin, can he get the stun? No, doesn't get that. And because he didn't get the stun, can't imagine he's going to go in. There's some nice poke coming out from the micro rockets. And that, the laser from the turret actually did quite a bit of damage to HD Wade right there. Let's see if we can check out how much damage that laser's doing by highlighting it. Beam 100, yeah, 100 plus 68. That's actually pretty good damage. That's actually pretty good as far as if you get hit by that particular little particle. The actual attack doesn't deal that much damage, but the beam certainly does. Let's see, what does Penguin have right now? He's gone for the Zanya's Hourglass. That's a pretty good choice. Heimerdinger is someone who has no escapes, so the ability to use Zanya's, especially against a burst caster like Syndra, if you see her popping her ult, you see those orbs flying in, and you can Zanya's away from her burst, that's a pretty good choice right there. And, well, his farm is really good. He's at over 10 CS per minute right now. And that's one thing Heimer's already been good at. Wow, look at that. Just the wave clear there. Really, really good. Just from a W and then an E, a rocket and then a grenade. Anyway, elsewhere, Thresh got melted somewhere off screen. And red team is really inevitably snowballing ahead. Again, largely due to being ahead 5v4. We actually have a Hecarim gank coming in. But he is spotted by a ward. Blue team does see this. Let's see. There is the jump in. And there is, ooh, well, actually, that upgraded W missed there due to a nice flash by Jacob. Did a good job. And out comes the surrender, well, understandably, because it is a 4v5. And that's all we can really say. 4v5, not much they can do. Yeah, red team doesn't realize that was a 4v5. But at least we did get to see some Heimerdinger play, and that was actually very well played by Penguin Preacher. It's a shame the game ended so prematurely, but we did get a good chance to see that champion, so I might use this just as a way of saying, hey guys, here's what the new Heimerdinger looks like. A good example of that. Now, granted, the game itself wasn't too good because of the disconnect. That was very sad. It was a pretty good game up to that point. It was quite close, but we did get a chance to see Heimer, and let's see, going Doran's Blade Nasher's also, okay, I can understand that. Still, I wasn't a huge fan. I don't think that Nasher should be the first item on AP Teemo. I don't think the attack speed's that useful, but maybe that's just me. I've typically seen double Dorans into hunting guys as more of a build because, if you're against Darius, you need survivability so he doesn't dunk you. That's kind of how I see it. But anyway, yeah, so the new Heimer looked pretty good in that game, but obviously need to see a larger sample size of games. That was a game where Heimer got a lot of ganks from his jungle Hecarim, and Syndra didn't really get any ganks at all. Like, Syndra was pretty much 1v1 or 1v2 the whole game, so that will tend to swing what things look like a little bit. But in any case, cool, you can still see the new build, and hopefully that was interesting.